Yo, yo, yo. We are back. Another show of Ski's Opinion. Gracious and humble host, Ski. So, we are back here. Today is October the 9th, 2025. Okay. So, it's a lot going on. The news, hip hop, entertainment, um, political, all over the place. There's just a lot happening. So we're here today to get my opinion on a few topics that's been floating around the world. So, first thing first, I guess I will kick off the show with this because it is a topic that's been spoken of a lot lately. And that will be Lil Durk update on this case. So, if you let them tell it, Lil Durk is the number one monster in America right now, right? They painting this man out to be a total and complete monster. Like just heartless, have no sense, super, could I say, super cold and just heartless, right? They got reports right now, that Durk has put hit out on his own OTF members, his friends, and O Block members for not slapping on, like things that just sound ridiculous to me. I'm sorry that it does not sound plausible. And it sounds like something that I don't even think I've ever saw before, like in any other case, like as far as like how the FBI is just grasping for straws in this man case, and then you got the internet going crazy, because of a interview. Let's say documentary type style thing that Trap Lord Ross put out, right? But to me, that doesn't prove anything. Like Trap Lord Ross don't set the rules on what's true and what's not. I mean, he's getting information secondhand from another source or a source that may be close to it or not or whatever, but it's not first-hand account. He wasn't there to actually witness what's going on. He's not sitting in the room with the FBI while they going down every list of every single thing. Now, he got some paperwork that they posted out there, but I don't even know how y'all getting that when the case is still going on. Who could grab that type of paperwork about what's happening in the Little Durk trial or case or whatever like that, when everything should be sealed at this point because they fight the case. But whatever, I mean, you see everybody just falling for it, like, yeah, he's telling it. Is Trap Lord Ross a snitcher? What, Trap Lord Ross is an entertainer. He's doing the same thing Academic did 10 years, 15 years ago with the war in Chirac. He's doing the same thing. Trap Lord Ross thing is satire over, some things that may be factual, but that's twisted into something else that's not even known. But other things, but he does have certain things, and like I said, there's some truth to. Like, okay, the one guy they saying severing his case from Durk's because he's afraid of whatever Durk got going on can tie him up and make him look even more guilty. Well, that's snitching. I don't care what nobody said. That's you saying that Durk doing things, and you need to be separated from Durk so you don't look guiltier than what you already guilty of, right? So you don't want anything extra put on you because of what Durk actually did. So you snitching. This the guy they was saying that was supposed to be so loyal, gonna take the whole case for Durk or whatever. That's what Church's dudes was saying. Come on now, y'all. pay attention to what's going on, man. They don't really have anything. And it sounds like that they hold the man, one of the prerequisite of what they have, but they're not really showing anything. Now you come out with this new thing that still don't show anything. Like you don't have him on the phone talking to nobody. Well, we gotta inform. Well, that's still he said and she said. What do you gotta understand for days? And rather people want to say, well, he messed up on purpose and this and that. I don't know if he was messing up on purpose. I think he was trying to tell. But the Cornelius dude got on stand for days. Same thing with Govan situation out of Memphis. Now I know this the feds. People like, yeah, it's the feds, but the feds don't seem like they have an ironclad case to me. It's not open and shut. I just have to be truthful with that, that it doesn't. It don't sound like it's just locked down. You bringing out everything, stuff being leaked because it's just ridiculous on what they're trying to come up with. So I don't know. I mean, everybody keep talking about these cases and how somebody cooked. Like every week, this person cooked. This is bad. That is this, and this is that. But none of this stuff is proven in court of law. These are not lawyers. And then y'all bringing out paperwork that's out there or leaked some type of way that y'all don't even know how to even explain or even understand what's going on in it. Like I said, which I don't know how you would have the paperwork unless you're involved in a case. So are you cooperating, you giving up some type of information and your lawyer asks for a discovery of what's going on in the case and they will be able to ask for that and get that if their client is being inclined to do something or talk or tell something. So you got to pay attention to these bloggers, man, like the Adam 22s and the Trap Lord Rosses, and I would even say academics to a point. And the Vlads and all, they're going to ask these questions and try to get you to incriminate yourself and trip yourself up to do other people is falling for. And now you putting that this man is guilty as if you can open and shut the case and everybody else running with it. This is the new, we got content, what they be yelling that goofy-ish. We got content. Like, come on, dude. Get out of here, man. This is ridiculous. Listen, let the court case play out, man. All this extra stuff that they're putting out there, these are internet detectives that do not have the information that they would to make them credible. I'm gonna say, right? So we're gonna say that to make them even credible. They're not credible. So I don't get it. I would say people stop talking. Yes, you have some people on this case that is flipping. They turn the states. They changing they're flipping, right? But that doesn't guarantee that this man is going down for what they're saying. I mean, why wouldn't they be flipping? Why wouldn't they be saying something and they're trapped up in it? All these people who are saying something about Durk and what he did and how he did this and that, they all got something to gain from it, right? Last time, because they all tied up into the case. And now he's tied up in it or whatever, but at first all y'all was saying he had nothing to do with it. But now all of a sudden, yeah, he was the whole mouse behind the bar. And guess what? He wanted to do this too. He sending what's the name of them to go do this. But ain't none of them in jail. No Booney Moore and all. But you throwing all these people name out there. Zoo, all of these people name out there in this stuff. And they don't have nothing to do with it. That whole thing seemed like a hot mess to me. And I don't know enough about it to actually just submit, but in my opinion, I just say, let the case play out. We just saw too many cases of people being cooked and how young Doug was done and how Lucci is finished and such is gone. Oh man, this dude, this, and they turn around and Puffy is done. Puff got 4 years. We thought he was getting like he finna get 30 at least, like R. Kelly, right? The man name who dared to be spoken. Don't even say nothing about this dude because he so terrible, whatever. And for what he charged with, they saying he did or whatever. If that's true, then yes, he is. He's all that. But they pick and choose who they want to do what with, or what they can do what with, right? I ain't gonna say that it ain't who they want to do what with. It's what they can do what with, right? So on that note, I'm gonna move around off this subject. I just don't like all of the video hoopla about somebody being done, and this is this man's life, right? He's fighting for his life. Let the cards play out how they play, right? They in court. He got a nice legal team. He spent a lot of money on these people. Let them do their job, and we'll see what happened on the end part of this. So, I'll move on to my next subject, and this next subject is a more up tempo subject. I would say it's more upbeat, than the last with Durk, being locked down and all this extra stuff that they trying to pile on top of the young brother. But Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty is out. He's home. He has been released from federal prison on his gun charges. He did 3.5 years, and he's back out, flashing a lot of money, like they said. He's doing all the stuff that rappers do, right? First day out, video, boom, big stacks of cash all on my shoulder, You got it. We rolling in Ferraris that I've been had, even though you no, you didn't. But whatever. He doing his fly. He's done. He flawed you. Let the young brother have his fun, right? So I want to say that this is good news to see. Okay, one brother who had his career where it looked at as like he just crashed out, and destroyed everything. He has another shot at it, if he used it right. So I'm gonna say, Pooh Shiesty, I'm rooting for you, young brother. I want you to take advantage of the second chance. Use it right. Come up with the things that's gonna be sustainable. I mean, you seem like you're getting a lot of money right now. You got a lot of offers on the table. Choose wisely on which ones that you do take because it's a lot of snakes, out there with all these contracts and this favors and all this money and everything that looks real good, but it's something slick behind it. So, I say be smart. Think about what your next move gonna be, and let that move be your best move, right? Quote of the day, y'all. Let your next move be your best move. Gonna elaborate a little bit more on that later. But Pooh Shiesty, congratulations, coming home off of something that could have derailed you forever. Hopefully it taught you something, that experience, and put you to a better spot where you can show these young brothers how to switch it around. Because like they said, you became famous and shot to the top for some of the most negative things like the mass and these young brothers out here just crashing out doing a lot of goofy off of the stuff you were saying in your music. So I'm not expecting you to all the way be there. When you are coming from prison, you got to acclimate back to the street. So I say, get used to being back out here, figure out what's going on, spend time with your family. You got any kids, hold them tight and close. I sent you with your grandmother. That looks dope and commendable, that you are surrounding yourself around family. So I say do that right now and figure out what's going on. But like I said, congratulations and welcome back. So I'm gonna go into my next subject is my brother Cameron. Cameron and slid through the Breakfast Club this morning, y'all. And he had a lot to talk about. He went over a lot of things. He went over he went over his career trajectory, his friendship with Mace, the beef, the back and forth with him and Dame. But he went through a lot, you know what I'm saying, on there. And speaking about future endeavors that he got, and situations that occurred on the shows, you know. So we go speak a little bit about Cameron coming on to the Breakfast Club, which I think was pretty dope. He had a pretty solid interview, I say. I liked it, you know, a lot. Cam had a bunch of entertaining anecdotes, you know, and he spoke on situation with him and Dame, you know, how the beef started, what kicked everything off, how it escalated, and how he's pretty much done with it, you know. They talked and squashed it. Then you had Dane kind of explain it. You hear from Cameron's point of view. Dame and him squashed it, supposedly not going to say nothing else about each other. But as we see, Dame is on his whole, you know, podcast tour right now, and every conversation is about Cam. Most of the conversations is about Cam. If it's not about Jay-Z, it's about somebody he know. I mean, my brother then became King Chatty Patty. Wait, Queen Chatty Patty. Dame Dash. Queen Chatty Patty. This the became a character of itself. You know how we have to be careful with the words that we use and the things that we spew out of our mouth. You know, because you don't know, people be casting spells. The tongue is very wicked. You know, so watch what you say, you know, because you can manifest. What come out of your mouth can be manifested. You know, that's why I try to manifest abundance. You know, I manifest success for this show, whatever you want to call this, you know, that I'm doing here. I manifest growth. I want to manifest knowledge. I want to understand more, right? So I'm putting forth that type of energy into the world, so that can manifest. That can become a reality within my world. I just want peace, right? So Dame sound like he's the type of person who radiating a lot of negative energy, you know. Just by listening to Cam and what he was saying on the Breakfast Club, you know, you can see the growth even within him. And like they said, you know, it be even said, yeah, you know, Cam, you know, he's super petty. He like me, and you know, like yeah, y'all petty, but to what extent, right? Like you so upset, and I said something about that, like with Dame, with the situation with the guy Larry he was talking about. He spoke on that on the Breakfast Club as well, like with the man wife dying, and then Cam breaking down how they was all there with Larry while this woman was dying because there was nothing else that they could do for her. And then for you to bring that up, I saw that when I saw Daniel speaking, and he basically kind of checked Dame a little bit, like, man, Dame, listen, I'm talking, you know. Like, he Dame steady trying to say something, but you supposed to be real. You was like a kid. How you get his brother the platform only to want to say something ill and wicked behind the powerful words that brother was putting out? That Daniel was spearing his heart out, man. You know, you could tell the brother still hurting by losing his wife. So being understanding of what Larry was going through with his wife, and I want to give my condolences, you know, to that situation. I don't know the brother, just by seeing him on Cam's show. But for anybody to go through something like that, I think it's terrible. But just to see the nastiness, you know, that man is spewing, it's something different, you know. So, brother, need to get it together, man. Get it together, Damon. Look in the mirror, man, and really realize you the reason why a lot of your things then went back, right? And the reason why you cut out of a lot of stuff right now is because of that attitude. You may need to fix it. I'm not speaking on what I know, I'm speaking on what I see, right? What I'm observing. So I'm giving my opinion on that. That's all I ever said, right? So whether it's true to you or it's true to others or not, right? It's my opinion. It's how I feel because it's from what I see in my eyes, right? They say life is many perspectives, right? From what point of view a person sees things. So this is what I'm doing on this show. I'm giving my perspective. I'm giving my way that I see the situation or scenario and what my mind mustered up of the understanding of what I'm seeing or gathering in front of me, right? So that's what I'm saying, and I just think that the brother need to get himself together. But I want to give applause to Cam, all his success, his growth, everything that I can see. Um, I want to send healing energy out today, right? I want that brother to heal, get himself together, and he can prosper as well. Because regardless of all of this, what's going on with the brother, you cannot deny what he did do, right? Now, how he did it, you can always question that and have an opinion on it, right? But you can't deny what was done. He changed a lot of people's lives. He fought for a lot of people. He made a lot of things happen, right? And he made a lot of mistakes as well along the way. But let's not make him out to be the person that just did the worst, right? We're not gonna do that. So I'm sending out some healing energy to that brother. I hope that he heals from all his pains and traumas that he's been through. Like I said, I feel like he was stabbed in the back. I feel like he was betrayed by a lot of people that he did a lot of things for. And it wasn't reciprocated, you know. And I don't know why it wasn't. I don't know what he did. I'm not saying he didn't do anything to deserve that. I mean, because he probably deserved every inch of everything that he had coming to him or what's going on with him, right? Don't know. But I'm gonna get off of that. My next subject I want to go into is my brother, your brother, everybody's brother, our president, Mr. Trump. He's back on TV spouting threats about sending the National Guards to my city, Chicago, spewing threats about locking the mayor up, spewing threats about locking the governor up because they won't back down to what he want to happen or what he want his will. They're fighting him back, so he's threatening to send National Guards there. And I heard something about he has the right to bring military troops onto domestic soil under infinite threat or the Insurrection Act, right? So he could try to make it like, you know, these cities that he want to send these troops into are in insurrection. I commend the governor and I would say even the mayor as well in Chicago for standing up for what they believe in, right? But is it what you believe in? That's the question I will have to ask, right? This is one of my questions that I just think of that. Like, do they really believe in what they're saying that they're doing, right? And I don't know. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I just don't know. Like, I don't know if it's an ego thing or it's a back and forth thing with you wrong, I'm right, I'm right, you wrong. You know, I don't know what it is with this situation, but a lot of it, I think, should have been taken care of by our government officials, right? Because we put them in office and in these positions so that they may represent us in a way that's going to be best for our livelihood or for what we want to do here, right? I say that to say this. That's not what they've been doing though, and I gotta put this on everybody, not just Trump or not just his administration. I'm just gonna say politicians, period, for like the past 10 years. You guys have not been living up to um, what my understanding of what the government is supposed to do. It's just the truth of the matter to me. I haven't seen it in at least 10 years, and me saying in at least 10 years, right? So I could even say what probably the end part of what Obama's administration, but I seen the little cracklings before then. The politicians is not, actually doing what they supposed. Have they ever, right? You can ask that question. Have they ever done what they were supposed to do for the people? I don't know. But this is getting scary, you guys. I'm going to say that this is getting very nasty. Um, it is something that we should all be paying attention to. It's something that we all, should speak about, say our thoughts on it, because, to stay quiet in the face of injustice is just like being complacent to it, right? It's like helping the cause in a way because you being quiet to something that you know that's wrong. So I'll say everybody speak their mind, even if it's a different choice or view of what man's is. I know I don't claim to know everything, right? But I try to understand things to the best of my ability. So that is what I give on this platform, is what I can understand to my best of my abilities from where I see it from. Sometimes it's entertaining, it's comedic. Sometimes I throw satire in there, to make light of things, but sometimes satire catches the attention and, you get that, you get that, what do you say? Understanding of the situation, fully, right? So I'm gonna go from Trump and the National Guards going to Chicago and Portland and all that, to all the cities that he's trying to send them out to, deploy them to. So, I mean, I feel like he's trying to, it's like military campaigns, right? Cracking the joke. So we should let our military, use these cities as training grounds, right? So let's go into the government shutdown, right? Government shutdown has reached into its second week. They still have not came to any conclusion on any type of resolution. It sounds like each side is told that they're willing or ready to make some type of deal, but no one is budging. I think both are bluffing in order to get what they want. Well, in the meantime, American people are suffering, right? So I'm not saying that the government shutdown should be lifted without anything being changed or any, contritions to what people are asking for one way or the other, because I don't pretend to understand everything about what they're fighting over that got us in this position, right? I kind of got the gist of it. I would say I understand a little bit of what's going on. I know it has to do with Medicare. It has to do with rolling back some things in that bill that seems to favor the more wealthy of us, right, than the others. So pretty much the 1 to 10 percenters, will prosper from the big beautiful bill. And 99 to 90% I guess you could say, will of us, the worker force who push for everything in this country, the reason why everything's working and going the way it's going, the 90%, the peasants, as they were called, but if we all stopped, like right now, stop doing what we need to be doing in order for this place to keep rolling, everything would come to a halt. It'd be catastrophic. Just saying, I understand your power, right? Don't nothing move unless we move. So I understand that. The shutdown, though, is getting ugly. Trump even yelled out something about not paying these employees for back pay, which I see Jasmine Crockett and other Democrat speak out against it, saying that it's against the law for them to do that, which I got to tend to agree. Like, you can't have somebody work for nothing, and then when you get the funds to actually pay them, you're not going to pay them. Like, I don't even understand what he's saying. Like, what are you saying? Like, what did the people do to you? That you that callous about, not paying people that's working for free. So you basically saying, do I say it? Do I say the S word? We got to say the S word now, right? But do I say that? Do you agree with it? Like, so these people supposed to work for nothing then, right? And don't get paid, even though they still working without being paid. Look how much dedication that shows these federal workers and these government workers, right? That we would go out, the ones who do work for the government, or whatever. We'll go out, right? And go to work without being paid. Nothing stops happening. Groceries still got to get paid for. Bills still have to be paid. All of this has to still happen. And these people are still going to work, spending money out of their pocket to get there without being paid. And you mean to tell me that our president, the leader of the country, the one who's supposed to be looking out for all of our best interests, is going to say, and I'm not going to pay y'all back pay? When we do open up, it's like, let me keep harping down on you. Like, do we understand, what is being said? This man does not care about his people. He don't care about us. This not even just black people, y'all. Look what I was saying about the situation where we all become slaves, right? This is the point I was trying to make when I was saying this to, not to the world like I'm speaking now, but to my family members and, friends of mine, that when we had conversations, these are things that I was speaking of. When I was saying, like, that it's coming to a place where, people just don't even care about humanity no more. We so numb, to what's going on that nobody cares. Like, you see murder and you just see it. Or you hear about it, it's like, oh, again, another shoot. It don't even mean anything no more. That used to be terrifying to us. That was some of the worst things that could ever happen, just to see somebody or hear about somebody dying, leaving, especially somebody that you know. But we so numb to it because it's put in our face 24/7 now that nobody even care. So when it comes to the government shutdown and all of that, right? I'm gonna say this should teach us something. It should teach us that we have to be a little bit more dependent on trying to make things happen for ourselves than worrying about how much we're putting into the government or how much they supposed to have about what party gonna do what for us, right? we have to all start really looking at and thinking about how do we put ourselves in a position to where when these people get mad and feel like they don't want to give us what we want because we won't give them what they want, um, how to hurt us. So, man, the government shutdown. I'm gonna end on that. Like I said, I'm not put to pretend like I know everything or I'm an expert on all what's going on now. I don't even understand half of what they even arguing over or fighting about. I know it has to do with the betterment of us as a people. Having the certain qualities that we supposed to have in this country. As tax-paying citizens and the people who actually working and doing the jobs to make everything go. Like I said, the 90%. So pray for the country, you guys, and try and get more acclimated with um, how to do more for self. Right? We got a government right now that's in office. Administration supposed to be less government and less government control, more for the people. Well, you're taking away the resources to make less government, but it's to destroy the people, not to be more for the people. These programs that they're cutting back on and saying that's worthless and they shouldn't have or whatever, that are hurting the people that it benefited, and it benefited millions of people who need those services still right now. But to them, it don't mean that. But like I said, I'm gonna end off with that on the shutdown and poverty. Like I said, I'm not an expert on that, but I will do some research on who would be an expert on that, and on my shows, I'm gonna start the things I'm talking about. I'm gonna start researching more and figure out who is the expert on that, who we should be reaching out to, or whose write-ins or teachings or videos or whatever we should be watching to figure out what we should do to better help us. So I'm going to end this off today with my quote of the day. I touched on the quote a little bit earlier in the video when I was speaking on Pooh Shiesty. So I want to expound a little bit on that quote. Quote was, let your next move be your best move, right? What do I mean when I say that? Your next move be your best move, right? That means going forward, let the next step that you take be a wise one. Why do we say that, right? Because it's something that's just happened that could have been detrimental to us, but we was able to pull through it. Now the next move that you make should be better, because you should be more cautious, you should be more aware, you should be more receptive to that next step so you don't stumble like you just did on the step before. So your next move should be your best move because you should have learned from what you already felt. Let your next move be your best move. I'm going to put that into context, right? The government shutdown. Politics today in the world. Who we elected into government office, who we putting into local spots, executive branch, who we voting for, right? We should learn from what's going on right now. And the next time that we go and vote, and the next time we go try to choose who we want to put in office to represent us, we will do a little bit more research on those people, right? We'll be do a little bit more due diligence than what we did before, right? And be a little bit more harsh and a little bit more tight-chested with our votes. That's how we can make our next move our best move in the future, you guys, right? So I'm gonna move on to another subject I spoke on, right? Which is earlier when I spoke about Trump and the Chicago mayor and the governor, right? What I would say with them is let your next move be your best move, Governor Pritzker. Let your next move be your best move, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Because your next move may be the move that actually save your life. Not just your political career, but your life or livelihood, the life that you know, right? This man is talking about putting you guys in prison, in jail, locking you up because of what you don't agree with need to be done, right? In y'all city. Instead of him talking to you guys, he threatens to put the law on you guys, right? Let your next move be your best move. Please let it be stealthy. Please let it be very well thought out. And please make sure that you have protections in place so that it can sustain until you have to make the next move. Make your next move your best move. In Ski's opinion. That's the quote of the day. That's what I leave y'all guys with. That's what I'm hoping for everyone. Make your next move your best move. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm out. In Ski's opinion.